Hello, thank you for watching this video. Today's subject is a complex one. It's something that has to do with the way we communicate and the way we interact with one another. Not so simple. Many people use different words to convey their message. But there are points that you can master to improve your communication, things that you can say, the words that you use. I'd like to share with you some information which is quite interesting. I'd like you to listen to this because this is factual information. It's not something I came up with. These are well-researched concepts and protocols which I think you'll gain from. Because according to scientists today, and we know that there is a deep understanding of the relationship between words and our experiences. And what they say is that our language defines us and the world we inhabit. Amazing. If the world we inhabit is created by that, think about this. Now, our words can either limit or liberate you. Think for 1 second what that means. And you must choose your words carefully and consciously. It says that neuroscientists, two of them, there were many others in the research, but Doctors Newberg and Waldman, well-known neuroscientists in the world, they said that words actually change your brains. And this is what they said. They said that a single word has the power to influence the expression of genes that regulate physical and emotional stress. Wow, that's just amazing. Think about that. For instance, an MRI scan demonstrates that a single negative word can increase the activity of the amygdala, which is the fear center of the brain. In fact, it says, just seeing a list of negative words for a few seconds will make a highly anxious person more depressed or feel worse than they are. And the more you ruminate on them, the more time you spend with these words, the negative ones, the more you can damage key brain structures that regulate this memory. Incredible information. And it can also change feelings and emotions and further impact your sleep or even your appetite and your overall sense of well-being. Now listen to this. If, however, you vocalize your negativity, even more stress chemicals will be released not only in your brain, but in the listener's brain as well. So both people will experience an increase in anxiety and inability and undermining potential for cooperation and trust between the two people in a simple conversation, at any time, anywhere, for everyone. Conversely, however, the research indicates quite clearly, and I loved it when I read it and I studied it and was really impressed by that, that the longer you concentrate on positive words in your life, the more you begin to affect other areas of the brain. For instance, functions in the parietal lobe, they start to change. And these changes your perception of yourself, for instance, and the people you interact with. Studies, even in this case, have shown that positive words like peace and love, can actually alter the expression of the genes and strengthening the area in the frontal lobes and promoting the brain's cognitive functioning through that. Amazing. Information which is unbelievable, but true. Over time, it says that the structure of the thalamus, which is the part of the brain that acts as a center for perception, changes in response to your words, your thoughts and feelings, and actually affecting the way in which you perceive yourself and the others and the rest of the world. Meaning that using the right words can literally transform your reality. This may seem mind-blowing. It was when I read it. It was when I learned about it, and I did further research to find out, is it possible? How does that work? And I have spent years trying to figure out things to make it better. Let's talk about some practical examples, okay? First, you should always be avoiding words, it says, at least from these scientists, that express attitude of contempt or derision or even negative judgment, anything like this. Let's talk about an example. Instead of saying the word, let's say, deadline, which has a negative connotation, deadline, because it has a connotation to death, you can use a due date, which has a connotation of birth, growth, something new. Instead of calling a place that you go to, you've seen sometimes advertising a spiritual getaway, which means a retreat, which connotes regression or surrendering. Those words should be avoided because of the idea that in life and in your speech, it is always in one direction, and that's the one you should take. Onward and upward. Never regressing. Interestingly enough, according to these studies, you should also try to avoid negative words such as hatred. Instead, you should say the opposite of love. Instead of using the word lying, which is also negative, you could say the opposite of truth, arrogance. You could say the opposite of humility, sadness, the opposite of joy, or cursing, the opposite of blessings. So when you would speak, instead of saying a curse, you could say, this could be the opposite of blessing. Now, it may sound a little strange because most people speak with words trying to express themselves and making a point. But if you heard what I just said about how the negativity of these words would affect you, why would you do that? Our language of choice has a psychological impact on people, ourselves included, at all times. And to try and always to seek and avoid words that express attitude of contempt, derision, or negative judgment is not a good thing. It's always the right thing to do at all times. It's interesting that in mystical Judaism, it says that with every word a person says, an angel is actually created. And that angel will transmit the word, and depending on the energy of that angel that was created, being positive or negative, it will affect the person saying it. So it will affect the speaker, the listener, but even more so, the person whom we are speaking about. Can you imagine this? That every time you say something, and you're affecting not only yourself, but the person who's listening to you, and also your person that you're speaking about. How powerful is that? When you realize that just a drop of water can make a cataclysmic change, or the wings of a butterfly as they flap can cause a tsunami on the other side of the world. Imagine what words do to your subconscious and to the communication between people. So if you're trying to have a positive meeting, if you're meeting with a business partner and you want to have a communication that will serve both of you, if you're meeting with a spouse or partner and you want to transfer your words and have your words that come from the heart enter their heart, if you're speaking to a child, perhaps a son or a daughter, or a sibling, a friend, a colleague, or just anyone at any time, and you want your words to have an impact, you want your words to actually transfer the information that you want in a positive way and uplift them, make them feel better, make them feel greater, wiser, stronger. You have to make sure that the words that you're using are positive. And this will make a change. And I've worked on this for years myself, trying at all times to not say words that are negative. Be very careful with these words. They have the power to affect reality itself. And be very careful because what you say, how you say it, and to whom you're saying it, everyone will be involved. It's some information you may say, I don't believe on that. To the contrary, I think I should use what I want, and I want to express myself in the way that I want to. I agree with that, if that's what you want to do. But do a little more research on what I just said, and you'll be impressed by what you're going to find, what you're going to read. And I think you'll make the right decision. As always, I wish all the best to you and look forward to hearing good news, great news, above and beyond. And let's make it happen, because you deserve it. God bless you. Thank you. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification bell to get my latest update.